In the late 1800s, women weren't allowed to become scientists. They weren't allowed to attend university in many parts of Europe. They weren't allowed to teach. They weren't expected to discover anything. But Marie Curie ignored all of it. She was born Maria Skłodowska in 1867 in Warsaw, Poland, a country controlled by the Russian Empire. Her family valued education, but opportunities for women were almost non-existent. So Marie made a sacrifice. She worked as a governess for years, sending money to support her sister's education in Paris. Only later did she finally follow her own dream. In 1891, she arrived in Paris with almost nothing. She lived in a small, freezing attic. She often survived on little more than bread, tea, and determination. But she studied relentlessly. She finished first in her class in physics. Soon after, she met Pierre Curie, a brilliant scientist who shared her passion. Together, they began investigating a mysterious mineral called pitchblende. They believed it contained something unknown. Their laboratory was not impressive. It was a broken-down shed. In winter, it froze. In summer, it became unbearably hot. Inside, Marie spent years stirring massive iron pots filled with boiling ore, searching for something no one had ever seen. Finally, after years of work, she found it. She discovered two entirely new elements. She named one polonium, after her homeland Poland. The other was radium. These elements emitted a strange, invisible energy. Marie herself gave it a name: radiation. In 1903, Marie Curie became the first woman in history to win a Nobel Prize. But her journey wasn't over. In 1906, tragedy struck. Her husband Pierre was killed in a street accident. Suddenly, Marie was alone, personally and scientifically. Most people would have stopped. She didn't. She continued their work and became the first female professor at the Sorbonne. Then in 1911, she did something no one had ever done before. She won a second Nobel Prize. She became the first person in history to win Nobel Prizes in two different scientific fields. But when World War I began, Marie made another choice. Instead of staying safely in her laboratory, she went to the front lines. She developed mobile X-ray units, allowing doctors to see bullets and shrapnel inside wounded soldiers. She personally drove these units and trained medical staff. Her work helped save over 1 million lives. Despite her discoveries, she never patented radium. She believed science belonged to humanity, not to profit. But there was something Marie didn't know. Radiation was slowly killing her. At the time, no one understood its dangers. She carried radioactive materials in her pockets. She kept them in her desk. She admired their faint glow in the dark, unaware of the damage they were causing. For decades, her body absorbed the radiation. In 1934, Marie Curie died from aplastic anemia, caused by prolonged radiation exposure. Even today, her notebooks are still radioactive. They must be stored in lead-lined boxes. Marie Curie gave everything to her work. She broke barriers no woman had ever broken. She discovered forces no one had ever seen. And she changed science forever. She didn't just study the invisible forces of the universe. She became one of them.